Welcome in, everyone. This is Jordan with Ravens Flash Report, and today we're going to talk about the Ravens' dominant win over the Detroit Lions this past Sunday. We have a lot to talk about in this recap between the offensive explosion, the defensive demolition, and what this team's true potential could mean as they stare down the gauntlet of winning teams that they have to face for the rest of the season and how they stack up. Let's get to it.
They're going to get a Super Bowl out of me. Believe that. Believe that. I'm a Raven. It's on. All year. Every year.
First, I want to give a shout out to the Detroit Lions team and coaches who not only have a great football team that will definitely be fighting for not only their own division title, but also potentially the battle for the number one seed in the NFC by the end of this regular season. I also want to give a shout out to the Lions fan base because in the preview video that I put out last week, I was blown away with the amount of comments and feedback I received on it. A lot of it was simple score predictions, which is fine, but there was also a lot of back and forth banter and good-natured ribbing by the Lions fans calling for a beatdown of the Ravens, as well as plenty of Ravens fans coming in to challenge them and letting them know how good our team is as well. So shout out to you guys. Alright, so we're going to start the recap with the defense because, of course, the offense, as it should, is going to be getting a lot of attention. So I want to start by talking about how good this defense was against a Lions top 10 offense. I'm going to hit some of these real quick, and if I need to elaborate on some of the more interesting aspects of the defense's performance, I will. So this defense was smothering all day from start to finish. The Lions came in only allowing 10 sacks, and they ended the day with 15. So basically, over the course of one game, they had 50% of their season total sacks given to them. The Ravens started the game leading the NFL with 24 sacks, and they ended the game and this weekend firmly in the lead with 29, which is 4 more than second place, which is the Bills. Brandon Stephens is a player that I mentioned in my preview. He had a very solid day, allowing 5 receptions on 10 targets for a total of 50 yards, and his streak remains of not allowing a touchdown in coverage. The D-line is a problem for teams. I mentioned this in my D-line video that I made a couple months ago before the season started, and I just talked about how Madubuike every single year is getting better. He's getting more sacks. He's more dominant. And same thing with the rest of this line. I mean, I know a lot of us are surprised, and pleasantly so, with Clowney, and Travis Jones has been playing well. Pierce is getting pressure. Everybody is getting pressure. And that's going to make it difficult for the Lions' interior line. And as well, it's going to make it difficult for Goff to move outside if we've got Owe coming in, we've got Van Noy coming in, we've got Clowney coming in from the outside. Arthur Mollett came in to get a sack on the from the outside. So a lot of good play from this defensive line, allowing others to make plays as well. The Lions' offense only mustered 6 yards of offense in the first quarter and 65 yards of total offense by halftime. At that point, the score was already 28-0, and the game was basically well out of hand for them. And as a Ravens fan, I still didn't feel comfortable until probably about halfway through the third quarter. So, yeah, real Ravens fans know what I mean. All right, a couple more points about the defense real quick. So, the Lions' run game was basically irrelevant in this game. They got down early, and they just couldn't seem to really get anything going in the air or on the ground. And once they were down very quickly by 2 scores, their game plan kind of had to go out the window. So they ended up throwing the ball a lot, as in Jared Goff threw the ball 53 times. 19 of those targets and 13 catches went to St. Brown for 102 yards, which was probably, again, the most irrelevant 13-catch game I've ever seen. Most of them were picked up in the fourth quarter when the Ravens were playing basically just a simple zone coverage and just trying to keep everything in front of them, just trying not to get beat deep. So the defense is consistently one of the league's best week in and week out, and for the most part of the season, it's kept the offense afloat to some victories, but that wasn't the case this Sunday because it didn't need to. Let's talk about the offense. So the offense was both surprising and it wasn't. We knew that everybody on this team was capable of the things that they did on Sunday, but we just hadn't seen it all culminate. We hadn't seen it all put together in one smooth, flowing game, and it was really excellent to see everybody firing on all cylinders. So we had the wide receivers making plays, we had the running backs making plays when called upon. Lamar was doing Lamar things. The defense was playing, absolutely shut down. So it just was every part of this team was playing to the potential that we knew that they could coming into this. So I said this in the preview notes, but the pass really did help to set up the run. And I was a little bit nervous about that, just given some of the inconsistencies with the wide receiver group so far this year. But it ended up working out beautifully for the Ravens on Sunday. And we're going to talk real quick about the third and the fourth possession for them, which I have on the screen now. Start of the third possession, deep pass to Odell Beckham, 20 yards. Then another pass was basically just a hold. Then pass, then 9-yard run, pass, 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 touchdown. Right? Fourth possession, okay? Run, pass to Andrews for 22 yards, incomplete pass, and then they just run it in for the touchdown. So am I saying that Gus Edwards and Justice Hill wouldn't have gotten these runs if they weren't passing beforehand? No, not necessarily. But if you spread out the defense when they think you're just going to keep passing the ball, they keep passing the ball. We saw a couple of really good holes that both Hill and Gus were able to get through. So the offense was so well balanced on Sunday, the play calling was dynamic, and this caused serious issues for the coverage unit of the Lions, who had a hard time committing to either stopping Lamar on the ground or letting one of our receivers get open in a one-on-one. We also started using our own tendencies against them on the 4th and 1 play by Lamar for the touchdown, because as you can see, basically the entirety of the defensive line and offensive line are all flowing to one side, and Lamar just goes out the back door, basically. They completely follow the Ricard, which I'm sure they saw that the Ravens tend to follow Ricard on blocking schemes for running the ball, and they just completely went the other way. And obviously Stanley put that guy up in the stands, which was hilarious to watch. I didn't even notice that when I was first watching the game. I was just focused on the fact that they actually scored on a 4th and 1 when I was yelling to take the points. But yeah, I didn't see that until later. I hope the cameraman is okay. So OBJ, I thought looked more poised. He looked like he had more burst than we'd seen him so far this season. And he basically seemed as though whatever he's lost in speed over the last few years or so, he's made up for in tenacity, seemingly fighting for every single yard. Another one is Bateman, who also, he hasn't really been what we've hoped for so far this season. But as you saw in the 2 receptions he had, he's still extremely dangerous if he's left in single coverage or he's able to get out in space. And he's back to getting consistently first downs again. So that's nice to see. Both of his catches were for first downs. Let's talk about Zay. Zay is so quick in and out of his cuts. I love how he doesn't shy away from contact either. He seems to prefer to try to juke someone or go through them rather than just going down or going out of bounds, unless obviously the play calls for it at the time. His sideline catch was it seemed like a veteran move. He goes up there, adjusts his body, makes a great catch, incredible body control, comes down, touches both of his feet in bounds, and just an excellent play by him. So all these plays show the skills of our top 3 wide receivers, but most importantly is the accuracy and understanding of Lamar to make the best play available on any given play. His throws over the middle of the field, over the outstretched arms and linebackers, which occurred on several occasions, speaks to his touch, but also you can see the zip that Lamar has on the ball. He throws these balls on a rope, and they just arc beautifully right over those linebackers. Lamar's also been really dangerous as a pocket passer. So the idea that I heard pregame about the Lions forcing him to throw and making him beat them with his arm is a little ridiculous and also a fairly simplistic approach at this point. I mean, you could ask the 2019 defenses that tried to make him beat them with his arm. Dolphins. Anyway, so the offensive line also deserves a lot of credit in this game. I know there wasn't too much pressure other than basically just Hutchinson, but they only allowed 2 tackles for loss and 1 QB hit over the whole day. And the touchdown to Aguilar was, it was awesome. Basically, you can see the whole pocket is just open. And, it was going to be posted basically on every defense's board for the rest of the season on how not to play Lamar in the red zone. The offense is so dangerous when you consider that if the defense is so focused on our wide receivers and Andrews, who we'll get to in a second, they tend to forget about our other less flashy but extremely productive players that make the most of their touches. So let's go ahead and take a look at this Gus reception here. Let's just watch it for a second. Gus is listed at 6'1", 238 pounds, and was clocked at 20.23 miles an hour, which for reference is faster than Devin Duvernay's top speed on his 70-yard punt return. Alright, so Ricard is a blocker, right? Mainly, yes, unless you disrespect him by leaving him wide open. I know we just spoke about Gus Bus's size and the speed, but imagine you're Joseph Kirby on this play. You're a DB. You're 6'1", 203 pounds, and you have to bring down a rumbling 6'3", 305-pound Ricard coming right at you. I will say, he did bring him down by going low, but I wouldn't want to be out there either, and I don't even think I would go low. I'd probably just get out of the way. All right, so we'll talk about Andrews real quick. This game is how I want him to be used. I like that he's Lamar's security blanket, and he's always there for him on third down and, whatever yardage it is. But on third down, on Sunday, Lamar went to Bateman, Aguilar, and Zay. He didn't even go to Andrews. And it's nice to be able to rely on others to shoulder that burden sometimes, so he can get his first multi-touchdown day since the Cleveland game. Oh, okay. Well, that wasn't that long ago. All right, never mind, Mark. You just keep doing your thing out there, buddy. All right, so let's finally talk about Lamar. Now, I don't care if you've heard the stats 50 times already since the game. If you're a Ravens fan, you'll want to hear them again, because why? We've prayed for times like these. 21 of 27, which is a completion percentage of 77.8 for 357 yards and 3 passing touchdowns. No interceptions and a passer rating of 155.8. Lamar also added 36 yards and a touchdown on 9 carries, giving him his 5th rushing touchdown on the year. Lamar basically just looks unstoppable. He was hitting everybody in stride, throwing with anticipation, great pocket awareness, and I've heard people say that this performance by Lamar was reminiscent of 2019, and I agree with the results of the game looking like a 2019 win, but Lamar is a passer. He is a passer first this year. He can also run, but so far Lamar is on pace for 3,910 yards and 882 yards on the ground. And right now he's got a 101.9 Light FM passer rating on the season. So my ending thoughts, the Ravens have arguably the best defense in the league, allowing an average of 13.8 points per game while leading in sacks at 29. We have also only allowed 4 passing touchdowns and 2 rushing touchdowns on the season, with the lowest yards per attempt in passes with only 4.6 yards. Ravens are a top-tier offense when they get it put together. As many comparisons as I've seen to the 2019 Ravens, I don't necessarily agree. That team was a bit of a glass cannon, and we saw in the playoffs, running the ball doesn't work, then they don't work. This team has just shown the league that they have the weapons now that they can beat you through the air as well as run the ball down your throat. And when this team is firing on all cylinders, it has the potential to be the most complete team in the league, and I can't wait to see more of this offense with Lamar. That's going to do it for me on this recap. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and if you want to see more content, you can head over to my channel. But thanks for checking it out, guys. Stay safe, and I'll see you all real soon. Bye.